celestial limits of Olympus I fell. Taking the form of the phoenix, I crashed into the earth like a burning meteorite. In my glorious, unstoppable descent, I smashed the highest mountains to dust, vaporized the deep oceans, and scorched the skies in blackness. My very presence on this world is like an endless summer, a drought, a curse. I come heralding.
Excuse me, I have to get a glass of milk. Throat's a bit scratchy. Yeah, not the glorious bird you expected. Hello, and welcome to my little space on the internet. I am a fantasy and sci-fi nerd who has been lurking on YouTube since its early inception. I've even run a couple of other channels that focus on other topics. One that started to gain traction and momentum, but in the end, life and lack of motivation stopped me from continuing with those endeavors. In the last couple of years, I've begun to delve into RPGs again, most notably Dungeons & Dragons, SHADOWDARK, and Advanced Fighting Fantasy, which I will explore on this channel, along with other roleplay systems. However, I'm also an amateur writer and game designer, so I'll also be posting videos on the progress of my projects that I've been working on for some years now. Whilst this channel might end up being a medley of sorts, I hope I can contribute to the great tapestry of independent RPG work filling the webways, speak on the burning topics of the hobby, and also provide my own little guides and nuggets of information which you may find helpful. First, let me introduce myself. I'm a 90s kid, and my earliest entry into fantasy and sci-fi was an accumulation of books from notable authors such as Tolkien, Eddings, Feist, Salvatore, Wise and Hickman, and Le Guin. And in my youth, sword and sorcery pulp of Conan, Lone Wolf, and fighting fantasy, as well as Judge Dredd. Films like Star Wars, Fire and Ice, Krull, The Labyrinth, The Dark Crystal, Neverending Story, and the Rankin and Bass version of Lord of the Rings were also my favourites growing up. Board games which also fueled my imagination included HeroQuest, Space Crusade, Ancestral Trail, Nightmare, and later Warhammer. And as for computer games, well, my old 286 took me away on great adventures with games like Rogue, Dragon Wars, Battle Chess, Space Quest, and King's Quest. Oh, and Mixed Up Mother Goose.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
For my debut video on this channel, I'd like to mention the up-and-coming projects I've been working on for some time now, which I hope to eventually share with the Dungeon Tube community. I've been writing amateur fiction since the early 90s, and have never officially released anything online. Well, except for one novel on Smashwords, which I won't divulge the title or the pen name due to my current disinterest in the series. With the amazing tools of Google Workspace Suite, Incarnate, and Midjourney, I've been able to put the hard yards into making my various ideas over the years into tangible resources and possible products. Number 1, Street Tribes. This started as a concept for a dystopian world set after World War III in a desolated fictional city called Hope's Fall. There, subcultures have evolved, or devolved, into gangs. These include punks, skinheads, metalheads, goths, homies, and rednecks, each group vying for control of the city and its resources, kind of like Mad Max. This was going to be a 5e campaign setting with unique classes. However, after watching the Dungeon Tuber Loki's Lair and watching him play ShadowDark, I've decided to build Street Tribes for that simple setting. It will take me some time as I won't be using the standard fighter, wizard, and thief archetypes, but things like Spiv, or also known as a hustler, brawlers, etc. Should be fun nonetheless. My interest in Shadowdark also inspired me to bring back an old idea I came up with in the late 90s. The Hellhaven setting was initially called Hollow World, and that is hollow as in hologram. However, in time it changed with my ever-evolving lore. The story so far, and it's pretty wild, is that the Earth is being invaded by extraterrestrials, in the vein of Independence Day. However, the United Nations, in their last desperation, turned to Satanism and begged Lucifer to save mankind. Opening a portal to the realm of hell, the devil leads the remnants of humankind to a place which would become a refugee camp, so to speak, and which over time would evolve into a city named Hellhaven. Technology brought with humans would eventually fail and not be replaced, leading to the loss of knowledge of the ancient world. Humans would then regress back to medieval culture. Magic would be discovered in hell, and wizards, now called magi, would come about. Also, Catholic and Protestant priests would become the ancestors of the clerics. The portal has long since been sealed, and the humans are now searching for a way back to their abandoned world, trying to escape the dangerous landscape of hell and its demonic denizens. The descendants don't know what has happened to Earth, and the war with the aliens is but a distant memory. Whether the world has been reshaped or has been abandoned, it's left open. However, the main project I wish to eventually release, before I leave this world, is my high fantasy setting of Akalorn, which I've been pondering and writing since the early 90s. This setting is the most dearest to my heart, as it is the oldest piece of fleshed out fiction I've written since I could conjure up stories to entertain my siblings and friends. Originally a generic fantasy setting with elves, dwarves, goblins and dragons, etc., it has since dropped all of those races and evolved into something more unique. This will more than likely be a D&D setting, but it will take a lot of work and probably sap the last years of my life on this earth. I know all the great valleys and soaring mountains across its great girth, all its bustling cities and mysterious mist-cloaked islands, all its culture and deep lore, history and tradition, great wars and heroic triumphs and utter failures. I am most eager to see this world one day grace the internet. On the side, I'm also distracting myself with creating fan fiction. I started to write a fighting fantasy novel called The Hammer of Hate, which is based in the Elanzia setting. Obviously, it's fan fiction, so it'll be free. However, this has got me thinking too, that because you can't copyright a game system, maybe I could create my own game books in the same vein, using the same mechanics and rules, but with different terminologies. I really love the fighting fantasy system. It's very simple, and you can build a compelling campaign without being bogged down in rules. I'll definitely be exploring that route after I've finished writing this book. And those are my crazy ideas for 2024 and beyond. I will also be making the occasional D&D rule video here and there, as I feel that the videos out there already, some of them could be fleshed out a bit more. And occasionally I'll also be making the odd musings of D&D history. Stick around and join me on my journey into the RPG creations of my mind. Anyway, that's it for now. I will see you in the next video. Bye.